Like I said, this year has been an amazing year with so many new innovations and so many new discoveries, and how it has all been incorporated into our lives even now. But here is India's year in space 2023. And once again, welcome back to Focus, and thanks for joining. So, India had an impressive year in space, and it's just getting started. Up next for the Indian Space Research Organization, a Mars and Venus orbiter, crewed missions, and more. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, is on a roll. India's National Space Agency accomplished the first ever landing of a spacecraft, the Vikram lander, near the lunar pole on August 23, 2023. On September 2nd, ISRO launched Aditya L1, the agency's first solar probe. And on October 21st, 2023, ISRO completed a successful launch abort system test for the Gaganyaan, a spacecraft India hopes will carry 3 national astronauts around Earth on an orbital mission by 2026. That's an ambitious leap forward from uncrewed space missions, but if India succeeds, it will join a club of only 3 other nations that have sent their own astronauts and craft to space: Russia, the US, and China. India is the most impressive, exciting space story of the year, says Rich Cooper, Vice President of Communications and Outreach for the Space Foundation, a non-profit that promotes space industry and exploration. In a year full of a lot of accomplishments, India has more than put itself on the map. India's space program goes back decades. ISRO launched its first satellite, Rohini-1, into orbit on a rocket of Indian manufacture in 1980. The agency became known for launching satellites, and later, more distant space missions, such as the Mangalyaan Mars orbiter launched in 2013. Under disciplined budgets, ISRO also plans to send an orbiter to Venus in 2025 and a second Mars orbiter to the Red Planet in 2024. The Indian space program has been under the radar, I think, because it has always operated well with lower stakes and lower budget, says Laura Forzayak, a space industry analyst and founder of the consultancy company Astralytical. But ISRO's ambitions are clearly and justifiably ramping up in wake of the Vikram landing, she says. As successfully landing a lander and a rover on the moon is something that very few countries in the world have ever done. And even those countries that have done it before sometimes stumble. In 1957, Russia placed the first satellite, Sputnik, into orbit, and 4 years later sent the first human, Yuri Gagarin, to space. But in 2023, around the same time India was celebrating the Vikram success, Russia failed to make a soft landing on the moon with its Luna 25 mission, which would have been, I believe, its first mission in quite a few years. But that's beside the point. India's progress hasn't been in a vacuum. It's been studying the success and failures of Russia, US, and China's space programs since the beginning. According to Cooper, there are 60 plus years of human spaceflight lessons to learn, and India has been a marvelous student at looking at those lessons. He says they more than did their homework. The Gaganyaan program plans to proceed similarly to NASA's Artemis program, with multiple system and spacecraft tests before the first human climbs aboard a rocket. The first uncrewed test flight, Gaganyaan 1, is scheduled for some time in 2024. and a second Gaganyaan 2 is scheduled for 2025. Gaganyaan 3 in 2026 aims to put a trio of Indian astronauts in orbit around Earth for 3 days. From there, the ISRO hopes to build a space station by 2035 and send Indian astronauts to the moon by 2040. That's a familiar expansion method, according to the University of North Dakota Space Studies professor Michael Dodge, as it was proposed by Wernher von Braun, the Nazi rocket scientist who became the architect of NASA's Apollo space program. This is a strategy that has been around for a very long time, historically speaking, and it looks like India is pursuing that in a very sort of systemic way, Dodge says. Whether India's timeline for growing its space program will hold is another question. Forzak notes that Gaganyaan 1 was supposed to launch in 2020, but faced delays from both COVID-19 and those typical of a complicated human spaceflight program. It may also take ISRO more time and money than they expect, and she thinks the launch of Gaganyaan 1 will likely slip into 2025. But a crewed mission by 2026, I think that's completely feasible, Forzak says. As Russia's influence wanes and that of India's close rival China rises, the crewed Gaganyaan program is a means of growing their own standing in the world. Dodge notes that national prestige has always been a part of space exploration, going back to the original space race between the US and the Soviet Union. But that prestige is about two things. One of them is technological prowess and being able to demonstrate to the world that you were among the elite and you're capable to use and explore space, he says. But the other is a geopolitical overlay. What excites Forzak about ISRO's plans, in contrast to India's anti-satellite missile test in 2019, is that there are peaceful ways for India to cultivate its national and geopolitical prestige. The success of the Indian civilian program can serve as a model for the other nations as they make their own bids to become space powers in the 21st century. What we're going to see is more countries that have historically not played a large role in space rise, because they see it as a means of demonstrating their technological advancement. Forzak says, a peaceful demonstration of advancement. Once again, like I said, in my opinion, I choose the stories that I think are pretty outstanding. Yes, this was just a breakdown of what India managed to accomplish for the year, but like I said, it's amazing. People are amazing. What we are managing to do on this world is nothing but, you said it, amazing. Once again, thanks for joining for another episode of Focus. Stay tuned for the thought segment, which is going to be a little short, but thanks for joining once again. Okay, like I said, I'm going to keep it brief. And in case you ain't realized, I'm going to be putting these episodes out in slight, quick succession for the fact that the end of the year is almost here. Christmas is upon us. And you know what? I thought I might as well. But out of the 100+ nations in the world, it would make sense that they would, if they are technologically capable of pressing towards the night sky, space. Each country that develops its own, if it can, space agency to any which degree, or even taking part in others, does elevate, as the article mentioned, its prestige in some form or fashion in the world. So it does elevate its standing on the world stage, which is understandable, and as it also mentioned, in a very peaceful way, which doesn't only benefit each individual country, but the innovations, the discoveries, even how each country derives their rocket trajectory, their propulsion, how they indeed come up with the designs of their own rockets. Because, as it said, they are drawing from over 60 years of human space travel history. So the amount of variations on trialed and tested rockets is quite, I wouldn't say vast, but I'd say it's big enough to give each country a unique standing when they come to this world stage. But in all of this, there's a question. Given it's the holidays, I'm gonna ask one now, but I'm not gonna go into it. I'm gonna take a episode to fully go into it, how I feel or what I think about it. But the question is, considering it's Christmas, how would we spend it in space? What would it look like on the moon, on Mars, on other planets? But that's me even going in too much. Once again, like I said, our history is pretty vast and we're making it pretty fast. And I like to try and keep it brief. Try, being the operative word. But once again, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Focus. And stay tuned. For links to the articles, check out the episode description. If you want to leave a comment, check out the trailer description for the email address. For topics like these and more, check out future episodes. Like I said, the world is an amazing place. There's a lot going on, and sometimes we just need to take a moment to focus.